Hey, we got a split screen. There's Paul Sullivan in the DigiNinja call center. It's not the DigiNinja studio yet, but there's some construction going on. My hat
We are
is
working on
crooked.
it.
There we go.
Is that what we're doing? Are we doing this? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I didn't mean to do that.
So around backwards, maybe. So good morning.
Good morning. Today is the DigiNinja Dealer School. I'm sorry. No, the DigiNinja Sales Academy.
Yes, it is.
I'm the instructor. I'm the professor.
You the student? Okay.
You can be the student. You know, we're doing some big things in the DigiNinja studios, which if you are looking at Paul, if you can imagine, let's see, from his position, like from his mouth straight up the speaker and out the other end, that's kind of like Paul's facing east. If those of you who are interested in geography, Paul is facing east, and the DigiNinja studios is to the northeast.
It's right over there.
And there's some amazing things going on in there. I think it's going to be December before we can actually unveil them. So until then, I'm working from my home studio. Paul is working in the call center, and Smith is behind the glass, so to speak.
He's behind the scenes. He's always getting things done behind the scenes.
Yep. So, Paul, you know, my level of expertise is very limited. I try to grow it. I try to broaden my general knowledge of many things. I have general knowledge of many things. A lot of people like to say, not me specifically, but when they're talking to someone who just knows a lot about or a little bit about a lot of things, they say, is it called a jack of all trades?
And a master of none.
Correct. However, that's not what you want to be. You want to know a lot about a lot of things and then be a master of one or two things. And I think with my track record and with the endorsements that I have that would say, yes, that's correct, Billy, it is fair for me to say I am a sales expert. Would you say, Paul?
Absolutely.
Okay. So even experts can learn 20 years into them being experts. So, I mean, you know, I'm 30 years in this sales thing, and I'm learning more impactful, powerful tools than I ever have. And I'll talk about some of those with you. What do you think about someone who's been an expert for that long, and then just to have some revelations about the field that they're in?
Well, Billy, I think that you and I, when COVID happened in 2020, we kind of, we called this year adjust and adapt, because that's what we've been doing as well as the entire world. But, you know, that's what sales is all about every year. It doesn't matter what year it is. You need to pay attention. You need to be following how people shop, the way they shop, different technologies that are available. You need to be constantly training. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how long you've been in sales. If you've been in it for 1 day, 1 year, 30 years, you need to be paying attention. You need to be growing and learning each day.
True. Okay, now this is pay attention to what I'm about to say right here, guys. What Paul's talking about is trends. What I'm talking about is going to go deeper. We're talking about pure, I'm going to say, revolution in the way you think about sales. So this is a big show, okay, Paul? And I'm known for giving my secrets away. And a lot of people have a lot of my friends, my family, my inner circle, maybe even you, Paul, have criticized and warned against me giving away all the secrets, okay? Well, I'm going to go again. I'm going to go with my intuition and go with my gut and give you guys some real secrets that will absolutely change your whole business. If you have a business, or if you are a salesperson, we're going to change your entire strategy. I'm talking about strategy, Paul, that's revolutionized the way we've done it for 25 years.
Okay. Well, this is going to be exciting. I'm ready.
All right, let's go. So the first thing is, you know, we think about you and I, and we've implemented some tremendous sales processes. You've helped me implement some tremendous sales processes into dealerships here in Georgia, many of them. And now that we're implementing the same processes, you know, you and I personally, I'm talking like in person, go into the dealership, strategize with the owners, implement salespeople, hire salespeople, and we always focus on the sales process. Now, you were already doing a big part of what I'm going to talk about right here. So you may be like, oh, okay, so finally, Billy, you realize, gotta get that hat straight. You finally realize what you've been doing. But I think it's the way we work together that's making this revolutionary, okay? When it comes to your sales, let's say if you're a salesperson, you're selling 15 cars per month, you want to sell 30 cars per month. You have to stop thinking about the sales cycle. It's not about the sales cycle. I've got books all over. I've got bookcases all over here full of sales books, and I've preached sales and closing for years. Paul, you've seen me when I recruit a sales team, I just drill them with information about sales process, road to the sale, closing techniques, how to be great at closing, the difference between selling and closing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. But if you're a salesperson, what you need to be focused on is, first of all, you being a business and what a business cycle looks like. And a business cycle does not start with sales. Yeah, you can't survive without sales, but you can't sell anything to someone who doesn't know you. Right. So, you've been a marketer when I was a salesperson. When I was an operator of dealerships, you were the marketer and you would bring ideas in, but it was always like, we were just advertising. Yeah, we were trying to get clients, but we were focused on sales. And the proper way to look at this thing from a business standpoint, a business cycle goes like this: marketing and advertising, 90% of what you do. Okay, that's different than we've ever done, Paul.
Right.
90% of your effort focused on advertising and marketing. Now, that's scary because, like, wait a minute. If we don't sell anything, we're not going to eat. Well, first of all, if you have a product and you have a team that's valuable, you have a product that's valuable and you have a team that can show the value of your product, then all you need is everybody in the United States to know about you. Does that make any sense, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically what I would say brand awareness. So
yes.
Your company, you need people to know about you.
You do. Brand awareness. Now, let's think about that, because that's not a new concept. Brand awareness, a lot of unsuccessful marketing companies that say that don't produce any leads for the clients. Mm-hmm. I won't name names on this show, but we're in the car business, and there's a lot of people that we used to get a lot of leads from their website, people searching for cars and things. And they would be on this third-party website diving deep into the information about the car. And then that third party would send you that lead. Okay. Right. And they used to send tons of leads because they were the only show in town. And then as other people started getting into the space, the leads got smaller and smaller. So this big behemoth started saying things like, well, it's not about leads. We're not a lead provider. We're getting you brand recognition, name recognition in the marketplace so that you can stay relevant. In fact, what they're doing was trying to stay relevant. So I don't want to miss this point right here, Paul, that it is brand awareness, but it's so much more. So your whole process has to be the branding. More than the branding and the brand awareness is your big offer. The problem that you solve. And we, as a company, I'll use our company, for instance. When we started this company, there was me and Joey, and we were out there selling. And hey, until you have a lot of money that you can spend on marketing and branding, you probably better really be focusing on sales and closing. So I want to, I don't want to, run right over the top of that, because when we started, we didn't have the money to spend on branding and marketing and advertising. So we had to get on the phone, Joey and I, and sell.
Absolutely.
We had to sell. Yeah, we had to sell first. So if you're not yet in a position where you can spend a lot of money on advertising, then you better get good at selling. I would recommend watching this show, understanding how to craft a pitch and then how to close. So that's very important. But if you're selling 15 cars a month, you're making a little bit of money. If you're like now that we're doing 150 events per month, you and me, Paul, with a team behind you in there, we have a lot more revenue. We probably have 100 times revenue. We have 150 times revenue, because back when we had 1 or 2 clients per month or events per month, Now we have 120 to 150. So we got at least 100 times revenue. That gives us more. That revenue we can invest into marketing. We can invest into advertising. So break that down on a small level. What a salesperson needs to do. This show is about sales, and I love salespeople. I love helping salespeople. So what a 15 car per month person needs to do is stack some of those commissions. Don't invest in the watches. Don't invest in the fancy cars. You need to drive what you sell now. So all this is a balancing act. But when you need to stack some cash, and then let's just say a 15 car per month salesperson, obviously you've got enough revenue there. You've got enough commissions that it may take you it may take you 6 months, but you can stack $10,000 cash. And what I'm telling you, this is so scary for people, but you need to invest $10,000. You don't have to do it all at one time. Split it up over the next 6 months, or the next 5 months, so that you're spending $2,000 of that money each month, pushing yourself into the marketplace with paid ads. You need a brand, just like Paul said, and I'm going to get him to tell us what branding and brand awareness is. But you need to get yourself known in the marketplace by pushing yourself out there with ads. You need to see yourself as a business. If you're not seeing yourself as a business, go ahead and convert that right now. See yourself as a business, and businesses focus on marketing first. Okay. So you need to come up with a pitch, craft your pitch, practice your pitch, have a very compelling pitch that includes a big offer, that includes an irresistible offer, and then push that out there to your ideal client, the people who will buy from you. Paul, does this sound different than anything we've done in the past? And what do you think about it?
Well, I mean, what I think about it is, first of all, it's revolutionized what we've done in the car business. I mean, truly. So, I mean, we're not just, hey, we just came up with this idea, this theory, and it should work. I mean, we've been doing it now, and it does work. So, I mean, that's first and foremost, is that you need to believe in this. As far as the brand awareness thing, when you mentioned thinking of yourself as a business, that's probably a new type of thing for an individual. People think, I work for a company, so the company is the brand. But you're right. You need to think of yourself as the brand, as well as the business that you work for. You kind of dual, if you will. Doesn't that make more sense?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. And so let's talk about that. And by the way, I have a huge call that I have to jump on at 11:30. So you guys hang in here with us. We're not going to bore you. We're going to hit you right in the mouth with the good stuff today. And it makes a lot of sense, Paul. Brand awareness, so if let's talk about that 15 car per month guy. You're doing some things right. So here's how you need to 10x that. Okay. You need to see yourself as a business. You need to get out a notepad and a piece of paper. Of course, write your goals down. We talk about that all the time, but you need to write down exactly how you would be, the perfect business would be. If you're at the right dealership, if you're going to stay there. Do you want to grow into sales management, finance? Do you want to grow into the general manager? Do you need to go somewhere else where you can get the right fit? But you need to very detailed write out what the perfect situation for you would be, and one that you can see yourself on, or that you really want to be at. Not, I want to be the owner, unless you've sat around dreaming about being the owner, and maybe you need to sit around and dream about being the owner. Then what does that path look like? So here's the trick I use, Paul. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, see yourself there as not where do you think you'll be, but like if you could be anywhere. Like, where are you in 5 years if you have your dream job, your dream business? See yourself there, and then ask yourself, how did I get here? What things did I have to do right? What did I have to get right to get to where I'm at now? I'm having huge success. I'm selling. I just wanted to sell cars. So I have assistants. I have 2 assistants. I have another salesperson that helps me, and I sell 50 cars per month. I get to work when I want to. I have total freedom at my job. This is my freedom. What did I get right along the way? Well, to get to this point, I assure you that you have to get your branding and your marketing right. You have to invest. So we talked yesterday about investing. when you have revenue and your revenue increases, don't increase your spending, increase your investments, investing in yourself,
Right.
branding, awareness. There's some guys out there that have their name tied to the brand that they're on. As a matter of fact, I'd like to get a couple of them on the show. I'm just thinking about some nationwide guys that are just in sales. You had the Chevy dude. He sells a tremendous amounts of cars, man, and he brands himself really well. He does a lot of organic marketing. I'm not sure how much money he spends on ads, but if he spent more, he would have even more. You have Subaru Steve Montgomery. That's another guy who's tied himself to that name, and he brands himself. So you don't want to copy anybody, but you want to, and I don't recommend personally. Now, those guys do that, and that's wonderful because they're at where they want to be, and they know it. They don't want to be anywhere else. I wouldn't tie my name to a particular brand because I want to leave the doors open, of what we can, you may take on, especially if you end up owning some dealerships, you don't want to be
right
Billy the Ram guy, and then you buy a Chevy dealership, So, Buyback Billy stuck with me because I've always focused on trade-ins and those type things. So, what's some brands, personal brands that you've seen work, Paul? And will you explain to us the difference between personal branding and actual ads? The difference between advertising and branding.
Well, I think advertising, there's typically advertising, we hear the phrase, a lot of people use this phrase, I just want to get my name out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a form of advertising. It's not a strong way. It's not a strong way of advertising, but just getting my name out there. A lot of people will say that. As far as branding, you have to tie a message, something that, to your name. So people get it. So they remember it. So like you said, like Subaru Steve, that was one of the examples. Buyback Billy, the example right in front of me, those type of things. They're catchy. They're sometimes they're a little, almost a little silly or a little, just fun, those types of things. So you want some type of catch, for lack of a better word, catch, because I know a lot of people say, what's the catch in advertising, that they use that as a negative. But in this, you do want something that's memorable. That's the word I'm looking for. You want something that's memorable, that will work, that will stand out above the crowd.
Paul, I'm so glad you said that. Now, you can, and I walk the line very carefully, because I tell people all the time, the worst thing you can do is sound like a salesperson, right? Now, I think you need to sound like an expert, and I can talk to any dealer anywhere in the country and speak as an expert when it comes to marketing and Facebook events and direct mail and just branding and messaging and all these things. I'm careful with the Buyback Billy because the Buyback Billy is the pitch, and that's the message that we push to the consumers for the dealers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some dealers like it. Oh, that's Buyback Billy. Hey, let's get the Buyback Billy guy in here, and that works. But I am aware of it, and I'm careful with it, Paul, because I don't want to be, sure, I'll be the cheesy guy if it gets the results. But let's make no mistake, I'm not a cheesy guy. We're professionals that know we know this business better than anybody. We've taught a lot of people how to do it, and they're having success. There's some inside the business, some outside the business. But so when you're crafting your brand, be very careful how you market yourself. Someone posted a video from one of our dealers. I will not name the dealer, but they did their own videos because, in The Art of Text Message Selling, very powerful book, tells you a lot of good things you need to know in there. We talk about sending videos and doing your own videos. And that's a way to get your branding out there as well. Do not be silly on there. Some humor's okay, but if you run around being silly, and there's this one video that one of our people shared from one of our dealers, and man, it reminded me, Paul, you have more experience with it than this. Maybe the 1980s, maybe the 1990s car guy who was loud and funny and blowing up thing. You know what I'm saying? And
really
you can't believe my prices are so low. Blah, blah. Do not do that. If you're a student of Buyback Billy, if you're a student of the the DigiNinja Sales Academy, then please do not be cheesy like that. The first thing you need to be is very professional, knowledgeable, put a brand in them. And I love what Paul said. You have to put a message out there, a message that's memorable. And by the way, the best marketing tells a story. And that's what we do for so many of our clients, Paul, is we're able to tell their story, their specific story of why they are who they are. And the whole why should you buy from us? That's such a tremendous opportunity for every salesperson, every dealership, every vendor. You know, our pitch, Paul, was when a dealer asks you, I'm using this as an example of what a pitch should sound like. When a dealer asks you, well, Paul, what are you going to do for me? Why should I spend $10,000 to do business with you for a week?
Well, I mean, there's two things. You start off with, we are the most effective product in the car business. That should be enough to get their attention. To at least go, okay. So, but then they want proof. They're like, okay, so prove it to me. What are you going to do for me? So then we tell them immediately, appointments solve problems. That's part of what we sell, if you will, and what we explain. And it's part of what we do too. It's not just a sales pitch. It's what we do. We set appointments for our dealerships to get them customers. Without appointments, no customers show up. Without the customers, they don't make any money. So that's what we do for them is we handle the conversations personally, by the way, with real people, not with AI automated messaging and things like that. Real people. So we handle their conversations, their leads, if you will, turn them into customers so that they can actually sell cars. And as far as how many cars, there are a lot of variables. So I'm not going to give some, BS line about if you do this, you're going to sell this. There are a lot of variables, but we're honest and open about how we can approach it, attack it so that the campaign makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. And I will put a number out there, Paul, and I'll explain why. And Joey will put a number out there and I'll explain why. One way we pitch it very often is, how would you like to sell an additional 50 cars in 7 days, right? So that's a very, like the same with you. That's a great hook. And then that gets their attention. Well, here's how we're going to do that. I can't guarantee you 50 cars, but we have dealers that are super excited if they sell 15 cars. And that's true, Paul, based on the number of cars. We have dealers that may sell 40 cars in a month. If we can help them sell an additional 15, they're excited. And then we have some big boy dealers that are going to sell 500 cars, even if we're not helping them. So they want to sell an additional 100. So I'm confident to use those numbers, because I'm not promising anything. How would you like to sell an additional 50 cars? Well, here's how we can do it. And here's what it may look like for you. Here's what best case scenario. Here's worst case scenario. So I'm all about, crafting a pitch that works. So as a salesperson, you need to understand what your pitch is. Why should someone buy from you? You need to sit down, articulate that, make it make sense, and then get someone to help you. As a matter of fact, you can send us a message. You can contact me, Billy W. Merritt, or Paul. Send us your pitch. We will help you craft the perfect pitch. We need to hear what you think it is first. And then we're going to help you make it even better. Matter of fact, I'm working with a couple of vendors right now that are, I don't really consider anybody our competition, Paul. I think we're in such a niche market. And if you have a call center and if you have, if you run 7-day Facebook events, sure, you're our competition. But I don't even know any of those guys anymore. So they definitely don't have the facility and the manpower and the resources that we have. But there's some software companies out there. There's some things doing some pretty cool things, or some very cool things with some follow-up tools and with some very smart marketing that goes on throughout the year and it helps you retain customers. So I'm helping some of these guys craft their pitch, and it's going to make them more powerful in the marketplace. And the reason I like to give away all this information, Paul, is because if we're known that, if you listen to Billy, you're going to get some information that really could help you. If we brand ourselves like that and people understand, we're not just going to jump on the show, and hear a pitch. Sure, you may hear our pitch, but we try to show you how you can make your pitch better, how you can make your business better. So I'll end with these two things. If you are a 15 car a month guy wanting to get to 30, you have to turn yourself into a business, and you have to invest money in your branding, in your messaging, in your pitch, and you have to push yourself out there into the marketplace where your ideal customer is. I'll say this again. I was going to end with those two things. But, when we're looking at sending out the ads, when we're doing our ads on Saturday and Sunday and we're picking the audiences, Paul, you and I we reviewed some Monday.
Right.
We were looking at this specific brand and the city it was in. And like, look, downtown Chicago is not going to buy Ram pickup trucks.
Right.
Let's slide out here to the suburbs and hit these people. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know who your ideal audience is.
Right.
And if you are a 8 car per month guy trying to get to 15, you need to invest in some training. You need to watch this show every week. You need to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn so you can get some helpful information. You need to buy some books. You need to learn how to close. You need to work on your sales skills. You can get from 8 to 15 with no marketing. From 15 to 30, you're probably going to need to do some marketing. So that's all I got for today. I'm going to jump on another call. Is there anything else that I missed, Paul?
I think you covered it all. Again, we continue to do these shows, 11 a.m. Billy W. Merritt Presents. Make sure tomorrow, Winning Together with Billy in April. Then coming up Thursday, Caleb Wilson will be joining Billy on the DigiNinja Dealer School. And then I'll be back on Friday with Billy for Feel Good Friday.
Hold on. I just, since Smith's not in the studio with me, I didn't know that I could click on myself and see the comments, but I'm learning things.
Cool.
He may not be watching anymore because it was 15 minutes ago, but Keith Driggers, who is a very, very successful car salesperson, he says, I'm moving 20 to 26. I'm still having problems. That's what I love right there. That's a guy who's having, you can call that massive success in sales. Sure, there's a lot of people to do it, but there's a way more that don't do it. So, Keith, congratulations on massive success, man. And buddy, if you will craft your pitch and do your own marketing and advertising, you'll sell 50 a month. I truly believe that. Do you, Paul?
Absolutely, yes.
There's Carson Henry. He's actually going to be jumping on the call with me. We're working on some stuff for him that's going to make him a powerhouse hey, Keith is still here. Just not making the money moving that many. I understand. So Keith, check this out. When Paul and I and Joey and Hank first got started 3 years ago, we actually went to their dealership. Paul wasn't quite here yet, but we did an event for them at their dealership. And I had some people that were doing direct mail and doing marketing for car dealers, and they warned me. They said, Billy, you got to charge more for your product. And that didn't feel right to me. So I found a way to lower my price and still sell more, and now I'm making more money. So Keith, I know you already sell them very low, but see if there's a way you can just go even sell more for less. Sounds crazy, but you'll make money in the long run.
Absolutely. Great advice as always. Don't forget DigiNinja Sales Academy every Tuesday right here. Check us out. Go to billywmerritt.com. You can also check out Billy and Billy Merritt Marketing on our Facebook page, YouTube, a whole thing. Smith's got us covered in all those platforms, right?
Yes, sir.
Billy, get on that call and solve some problems, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.